Hi, my name is Peter Cutforth and I'm recording this video because quite a few of my clients recently have asked me about how to use Google Adwords in their business. Is it something that will be suitable and would it produce a profit for them? Now, Google Adwords is first of all something that you need to be careful with if you're going to do it. It can work extremely well. And it's a great form of advertising in the right product area or service area. It can be great for making direct sales off a website. It can also be great for gathering leads. And I'm going to show you some examples of several accounts that I manage both in my own companies and for clients. But first we'll just have a quick overview of what actually Google AdWords is, for those of you that may not be completely familiar with it. Okay, so this is an example of Google AdWords. When you search in Google for a term, you find usually the top 3 results are Google AdWords with a little yellow ad beside them, and then also down on the right hand side here where it says ads, these are all Google AdWords down here on the right hand side. These results here are what's called the organic results. These are free results and these are in the Google index. Okay, so that is what a Google AdWords ad is. Now what happens is if I click on any of these ads here, it's going to cost the advertiser a certain amount of money per click, and that depends on the niche that they're in. And typically when I click on one of these ads, it will go through to the website, usually the home page, and that's actually not the best way to do it. It's usually better to create a separate landing page specifically to receive these ads. So anyway, that's an overall introduction to Google AdWords Training Company's products, which is the Responsible Service for Alcohol Certificate course online in New South Wales. So this ad typically only shows up within New South Wales. So if someone types in RSA online in New South Wales, then our ad here comes up right there. And if we click on that ad, we go through to our website. So we'll have a look at the statistics for that ad in just a moment. Now, just to give you the context so this all makes sense, this is the RSA website that we're sending traffic to through Google AdWords, and this sells a Responsible Service of Alcohol course, which, including a thing called a photo card, sells for $139, and we have to pay, I think it's about $70 for that photo card. So for us, it's about $70 actual profit from this course. As you can see, this website is set up in such a way that it's designed to get people to click the yellow Start Now button. That's really all that we want them to do in this case. We don't want them to call us, we just basically want them to start now and start doing the course. Okay, so let's move across into the AdWords back end behind the scenes for this course. And what we're looking at, this all looks a bit intimidating if you haven't seen it before, but don't worry about that too much. The things important to show you are that this is current, this is for the first 20 days of February. And don't worry about the graph here, but you can look at these things here. We have different ad groups, and basically these are different ads that are set up to show for different types of keywords. So there are dozens of keywords that we would want our ad to show on. For instance, it might be RSA Online, RSA in New South Wales Online, RSA Course, RSA Australia, RSA Training, etc. And within each of these there's several different keywords. Now, the important thing to look at here is this column here, which is conversions. That means every time we make a sale. So you can see so far in February just with this, what I'm showing you here, there is another broader campaign as well, but you can see we've made 60 sales, and the average conversion or cost per conversion has been $24.83 for an average conversion rate of 5%, which is not too bad, given that the typical conversion rate for a product online is only about 1%. So how this works, say for this one, which looks like the busiest ad group, we get 685 clicks. The average cost per click here is $1.24 in this niche, and the ad typically shows near the top at the average position of 1.4. We've spent $849. We've made 44 sales, so it's cost us $19 per sale. Now remember, I said that we were making about $70 per sale with this course, so we're making a profit of about $50 per sale. So that's if you can spend $19 to make $70, you would want to keep doing that as much as you can. So that's basically how this works, and obviously each different keyword group has a different cost per sale, but this is the average $24.83, which is perfectly acceptable and perfectly fine. So that's how that works. Now within each of these, if I click on this ad group here, okay, so within the ad group, we look at this one, which is RSA Online. Here you can see our ad. It says earn your RSA from home, blah, blah, blah. And in actual fact, we've got two ads, which I can show here. And this is typically what we do when we manage an AdWords campaign. So we set up two ads that have slightly different copy, and we can look at the different cost per conversion. So in this case, one ad is costing us $20 a conversion, the other one is costing us about $18 conversion, and we can look at the conversion rate. One's 7%, one's 6%. So possibly over time we would stop this ad because this one's performing slightly better. So this is called split testing, and it's an important part of actually managing your campaign over time to get the best performance. Sometimes it can take a little while to get a campaign working profitably, and when we first started this campaign we were paying about $40 to $50 a sale, and now we've got that with ongoing management over several months, we've got that down to $23 to $25, $26 per sale. The Google AdWords campaign or setup has certain settings. You can target the ad to states or even around cities quite accurately. You set a budget. Now this is an important thing here. A lot of people are concerned about Google AdWords because you don't know if it's going to get a return on investment for you. And so when you're first setting up a Google AdWords campaign, what we do is we do set a daily budget, which might be $100 a day or $50 a day, and so that we can test it and see how it performs over, say, a week, and how that landing page is converting. In this case, I've got a budget of $400 a day, which seems like a lot, but you can see that this campaign I know is making a return for us. So every $19 we spend, we make $70. So I would want to spend as much money as I can on that, and I certainly would not want my ads ever limited through a budget. So the concept of needing to have spend limits on your Google AdWords is really a false concept. Either Google AdWords works and produces a profit, or it doesn't. You do need to limit your spend when you're finding that out in the first few weeks, obviously, so that you don't wake up one morning and find that your bank account's been drained of $1,000 or more by Google, who are quite happy to take your money. But if you, and that's why it's very important to have tracking involved. And with Google AdWords, it's possible to track the conversion rate either for a sale or for a lead, which is what probably most local or national businesses would use it for. So there's some of the settings and safeguards that you can put in place to protect things, especially as you're getting started. It's another completely different industry, And this is a what's called a retractable fly screen. These are fly screens specifically designed for long sliding doors or French doors. And here is a specific landing page that my company designed for this client. It's got a video on here which shows the concept. It's got some benefit bullet points. It's got calls to action. So you can see the call to action is either to call that number or to hit the Inquire Now button, which takes them through to a form, and it's got some nice pictures here. It's very simple and lots of calls to action. If they click on that, it takes them through to this inquiry form here, and that's the call to action that we want them to do. So if we have a look at their results, we can also see that this is working very well for them. Again, just this month in February, they have a very limited campaign. It's restricted to only Queensland, and they have had 357 clicks. It's costing $1.64 on average per click, and they've had 13 conversions. That might not sound like a lot, but to get a lead, bear in mind that these screens are often $1,000 or more, so it's a decent, semi-high ticket sale, and they're getting about a 4% conversion rate through to lead, and it's costing $45 a lead. Now that might sound a bit high, but bear in mind that this is only showing the contact forms. They also get about the same number of phone calls, and we have a tracking system in place so that we can actually measure those phone calls and even listen to them and make sure, monitor the quality of the leads. So they've essentially had probably 25 to 30 leads so far this month. So they're paying about $20 to $25 per lead, which when you think that their average sale might be potentially up to or well beyond $1,000, that again is also a very profitable AdWords campaign, and I'll just show you where they sit. Okay, so we've just typed in retractable fly screens, which is the main keyword. It's a national keyword, and you can see here they sit, best retractable fly screens. You can even call the trackable 1300 number straight off the ad, or you can click through and you end up on that landing page, or you can just go straight through to the form as well. So there's some very cool options that you can do with these types of AdWords ads, and you can see this one is doing very well for this client as well. I'm going to show you one other quick example, again in a different industry. Again, this is another of my training company's training courses, and it's chain of responsibility, which wouldn't mean much to most of you, but this is the legislation around heavy vehicle transport, to prevent speeding and fatigue and overloading. So it's very important around Australia in preventing accidents and deaths. And this is a course that we provide. We provide several courses. So anyway, that doesn't particularly matter, but these are the keywords, sorts of keywords that people type in. And you can see there's our AdWords ad there. In our case, we also rank #1 organically because we also do SEO, and so it is beneficial to have an AdWords ad and SEO, because what happens is people look at that and they can see the same domain there, and they think, well, you guys are everywhere, so there's a sense that it gives a sense that we are, probably one of the most prolific and best known providers, which in this case we are. So if we go through to that, I'll just to save costing the money, I'm going to click on the organic result, but it really doesn't make any difference. And this takes us through to our website. Now you'll notice something that happens here is this slide up at the bottom occurs in big yellow colour, and it says get our free chain of responsibility legislation white paper and subscribe to our updates newsletter. And if I go subscribe now on that, what happens is it opens another form, and I can put my name and address and company in and get that, and that subscribes us to the list. And we have several thousand transport companies on that list, and we email them every week with updates and information about our courses, so that we can keep in front of them, keep our brand in front of them, and this does have a fantastic effect for us in generating some leads right through to household name blue chip companies throughout Australia, which are our clients of ours. So this is another way where we've collected leads through using Google Adwords, and this might cost us, I don't know, $300 or $400 a month. We can track how many new inquiries we get, how many people have joined the newsletter, and this is a very, very economical way for us to build our leads, which obviously in this case is a much longer sales cycle, as our courses typically cost $2,500 each in this industry, so for the higher level courses. So there's another example about how you can use AdWords to produce a great return on investment. So there we go, there's an overview of Google AdWords and some examples of profitable campaigns that are real live. You've been able to see them through the video on my screen, on my desktop right before your eyes. Now we have a very expert team of very clever people that work on Google AdWords. It's not something that I would recommend you try yourselves. You can lose a lot of money if you do it incorrectly, and once you've lost that money you can never get it back. You don't get refunds from Google for Google AdWords if you've set it up incorrectly. Also, there's a lot of specialized knowledge in choosing the keywords, setting them up correctly, matching them with the correct landing page, addressing things like the page quality score which Google assigns, monitoring the bid rate, the cost per click, conversion rates. There's a whole lot involved, and we have services which can do all this for you, including setting up the campaign in the first place, which is quite an involved process. It takes quite a bit of time to set all the different ad groups up, write creative and well-written engaging ads, and split test ads that I showed you before. So there is a lot to it, but we can offer services that are pretty economical to get going. You are going to have to invest a good few $100s to set the thing up and do a test for a few weeks and see if it converts well. If you need a landing page done as well, that's obviously going to be more as well, which we recommend only because you typically get much better conversions from a landing page. So having a good landing page compared to just sending leads straight to your homepage can make the difference between the whole thing working, in other words producing a profit for you, and not working. So there's a lot to it, and it's more than just throwing up a couple of ads in an account in Google. And so anyway, if that's something that you feel would be helpful for your business, which it may well be, you may not be doing that at the moment, feel free to give us to get in touch and give us a bell. But other than that, this was intended really just to give you an orientation to Google AdWords and have an understanding of how it might assist your business. So until next time, been good to talk to you. I'll chat soon.